So when we started this project, the whole idea was we had a client who was into infrastructure development and they wanted to create their corporate office in this region. So when we wanted to look at their brief and to create a corporate office, the first thing that came in our mind is about how roads have been like a seamless, endless, continuous things. It shows fluidity and endless motion. Can we bring that feeling into the office was the whole purpose. And we want to bring it even on the outside as well as inside to have a seamless experience of how entire fluidity can exist, which is representative for this kind of work. So this is the overall site that we have looked at it. So when this is the main entrance of the site. So this is the way where we flow in and it moves on to the right side. So the ground floor is primarily parking and we try to keep all the services onto one side, which is towards the neighbor side, which allows openings on all three sides. So there would be ample amount of natural light within the space by keeping all the unusable or less used spaces onto one side of it. So this facilitates like the lifts, the course, the staircase and the other facilities are kept onto one side of it. So in this, like when we talk about the core area, so we have placed the electrical shafts and the fire hydrants into a kind of a passage area which leaves up the entire floor plate, which is completely free of any services. And in this particular lobby, we actually have two separate elevators, toilets that have been placed on one side. And on the rear side, there is an additional space which have been used on different floors differently. And when we walk in, the reception is actually a double-eyed space which connects the ground floor and then the floor below, which creates a grand entrance. On the first floor, when we come out, so either we take the elevator or the staircase, so we open it opens into a lift lobby. And this lift lobby, then we further move. So primarily the first floor was dedicated to for the boardroom, for the managing director, and the senior head of departments and the accounts department is kept on this floor. And the rest of the remaining working office is kept on the other floor. So on this floor, when he walks in, so there's a huge amount of area that was given to for the managing director with the retiring room, and which actually has separate accesses for being private access and the public access. And it actually has a separate waiting lounge for the room, and it opens onto the boardroom as well. So the waiting lounge actually doubles up as an area for the boardroom as well as for the managing director. And the separate discussion room on the first floor facilitates an additional waiting area or the people to meet from the departments to come and meet here is available on this particular floor. On the outside, balconies, instead of a traditional balcony, the facade actually bends and floats inside to create different kinds of terraces of varying sizes and varying widths on the periphery. So this building, when looks on the outside, not just the skin, but also the depressions that have been created by different spaces on different levels, create something which is more of an interesting indoor and outdoor space. On the second floor, once we walk into it, it actually has different kind of director cabins, and how it has been laid out, it creates something which is more organic and natural, and it creates each of them actually characterized by different angular lines which create something like expansion of space. So each of these spaces actually have curved edges, angular lines, and that creates the small little pockets which is more organically laid out. And once we move into the workstation area, we have a set of workstations which are laid at an angle which further adds dynamism to the space, and even the director cabins which are in this particular phase, which creates a very interesting kind of flow of space, which is not a rectangular or a rectilinear thing, but something that keeps you aligned for everything, wherein when you walk in you see something which is something coming at an angle. And even the interiors have been laid in that particular way, where the finishes have been very subtle clean. At the same time, it creates a lot of interesting elements into the space. And they actually have a boardroom at the end of it, which has a direct access onto the outside, but it also connects onto the inside. So which was very interesting point, and where we want to, and he said, I want the building because to be representative of what Corbusier built for Chandigarh. So if he can use raw concrete to express the facade, similar way, without any paint or anything, the similar way how Corbusier did 50 years ago. So it was a very interesting challenge that he portrayed to us. And when we started working on it, when the program started to fall in place, and we had several meetings. So his idea of creating something which was exemplary, was representative, because he also builds roads and infrastructures for the country. And somehow we wanted to bring in that fluidity into this kind of space making, and to create something which is more fluid, open, at the same time has that character which is very strong, and timelessness, how Chandigarh was built, and can we bring that character into this particular space.